Hey there, I'm Felicia from Buy Your Land for Cash. Today we're going to look at 4 costs that you can expect during the probate process in Florida. So probate can be very costly and time-consuming. It isn't something anyone wants to deal with. However, most people will have to deal with it at one point or another. And if you are forced to deal with it, you might find yourself spending money and getting more involved with everything than you had originally planned. While you might expect to receive money, sometimes the opposite can in fact be true. So 4 costs that you need to be aware of. First is outstanding debts. When someone passes away, the executor of their estate will need to find and pay all of the deceased outstanding debts. In most states, the executor of the estate is required to publish a notice of death in the local newspaper, alerting any creditors not known to the courts or to the executor. These creditors will have a limited amount of time to file a claim against the estate for the amounts they are owed, and it's only after all the debts have been paid that the executor of the estate is free to distribute assets left behind by the departed. The second one is court fees. If inherited property has to go through the probate courts, there are going to be some costs. The executor has to validate the will, submit a petition, and ask the courts to review all assets, debts, and taxes owed. There will often be a number of hearings to discuss the validity of the will, hear any objections, and make sure assets are distributed as they should be. The court will charge a number of fees while facilitating this process, and these fees vary case by case and state by state. If you are dealing with a larger estate, you can expect these costs to be much higher than if you are dealing with a smaller one. Third is taxes. Even after death, you can't avoid the tax man. The executor of the estate must file and pay any income taxes for the year of the descendant's death. They must also check to see if the estate taxes need to be paid, and if so, these taxes are typically due within 9 months of the deceased passing. The property taxes for any real estate owned will need to be kept up to date in order to avoid foreclosure of the property. 4 is attorney fees. The cost of a probate attorney can run up to 5% of an estate's value. 5%. So we have a little comparison here to show you. For example, if you have an estate of $50,000, you're looking at $2,250, could be considered reasonable. And if you go up to $100,000, you're looking at 3% of the estate's value. While you may not always need an attorney to represent you, in many cases it might help the process go smoothly. And when you hire an attorney, you can be assured that all the debts, creditors, and beneficiaries will be properly taken care of. In order to avoid probate, an individual can either set up a trust, own property in joint tenancy with the right of survivorship, or set up beneficiaries when creating the assets. And that's also particularly true with stocks and bank accounts. By avoiding probate in Florida, you'll be able to avoid a number of the costs people often face. When a property is in probate, it can be tied up for months. And in addition to these costs, if a property is in question, the executor of the real estate will need to pay the taxes, insurance, and a mortgage on the property to keep it going into foreclosure. So I hope this kind of helps you understand the different types of costs you can expect for a probate property in Florida. If you have land in Florida that you want to sell, call or text us 313-307-6737 and we'll see what kind of cash offer we can get you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That way you're the very first to know when a land blog video is published. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.